Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. Today we are testing again some very hyped up niche fragrances. We have here 12. We have Xerjoff, Parfum de Marly, Amouage, Dyptique, Initio Parfum, and much more. So I can't wait to test all of these fragrances. I have to admit I always have a lot of fun doing this video, so let's just jump in. Let's start with a decant, and this is Initio Rehab. This is not my first try of Initio Parfum. I already tried Oud for Greatness and Side Effect, but I know a lot of people also mention Rehab as one of the best from the brand. So let's see. First impression, it's nice, it's a little bit woody. It's kind of a fresh, aromatic, definitely unisex. I think I smell lavender. It has this very crisp, fresh, cozy smell. It's unisex, but just leaning slightly bit on the masculine side, let's say. As usual with this series, I will do a follow-up on all of these fragrances, so I'm going to go into detail and a review about performance. Do I think it's worth the hype, worth the money or not? So definitely stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that video. It's not like the best from Initio, but still it's a very nice fragrance. I personally wouldn't wear it. I would imagine this fragrance more on my husband. So Initio Rehab, I would say, is a yes in my book. Now let's move to Xerjoff, and I have here two fragrances. Let's start with the most famous one, or the most hyped up one, Erba Pura. To be completely honest, this is not my first impression. I couldn't help myself, and I smelled it when I got the sample. Oh yeah. Oh, this is a very, very, very potent fragrance. It's very fruity and sweet with a musky undertone. I personally smell pineapple, but I remember from the notes there was just generic fruit, so it does smell like a fruit bomb, so like a cocktail of fruits, which reminds me a little bit of Rasasi La Yuqam Jasmine Whisk. But here I smell more pineapple. There's also some vanilla, but it's a little bit musky. I have to say, I don't like these kind of fragrances. If you like fragrances like Rasasi La Yuqam Jasmine Whisk, you would definitely like Erba Pura from Xerjoff. To me, both of them smell very synthetic. Yes, I said Xerjoff and synthetic, but by nature, fruity fragrances are synthetic because you can't extract actually an oil from the fruits. And I guess because there is a lot of fruits and a lot of notes, it smells extremely synthetic to me. It's worth the hype when it comes to quality. I mean, performance is amazing, but it's not my vibe. But yeah, I can see the hype behind it. So Erba Pura from Xerjoff. Next fragrance from Xerjoff is from the Casamorati line, and this is 1888 or 1888. The juice of this fragrance is very dark and it's stained like the paper, so be careful with this fragrance when you spray it on clothes. Okay, a part of this video was lost, so I will just repeat all what I've said about Xerjoff 1888. It's kind of an old-fashioned fragrance, mature, a spicy oriental, in the vibe, not that they are similar, in the vibe of fragrances like Shalimar. So it gives me a little bit of the old fragrances from Chanel and Guerlain vibe. It definitely leans masculine, and from what I can see from the performance on paper, it seems like it's going to last really long. Next, let's go with Amouage, and this is Amouage Journey. This is not typical Amouage, if you know what I mean. It's floral and somehow sweet, but not vanillic sweet. It smells like a kind of honey that I can't remember now the name of this kind of honey, but it's like a honeyed, floral, a little bit powdery, a little bit dry, and it has some depth. But I can't say it's not woody notes. There's something that really gives this fragrance something special and gives some depth to it. It's almost leathery. This is something I've encountered with almost all of Amouage fragrances. They have this animalic touch. Even if there is no animalic notes, they must have somehow something a little bit animalic in them. Do I like it? No, I don't like it. It's a little bit old-fashioned and not my vibe. If you like sweet florals in an old-fashioned way, you may like this one. Now let's move to a fragrance that the fragrance itself is not hyped up, but the brand definitely is. So I have here a decant of Tiziana Terenzi, Al Contrario. This is very potent. I smell definitely chocolate here. Yeah, a nutty liqueur, I would say what I'm smelling here. It's very warm. It's totally unisex. It's not too sweet. I think there is definitely some moody aspect to it. It has a lot of depth. It's just not like a gourmand and that's it. It has a depth to it. Yeah, for me, I mostly smell cacao, vanilla, some nutty liqueur, and I don't know, some woodiness perhaps. Okay, I would say this is a fragrance that would be perfect for someone who's looking for a chocolate, nutty, a little bit boozy, deep fragrance. And it seems like it's going to be a beast mode because it's quite potent. Not like Erba Pura, don't get me wrong. Erba Pura, it's like you spray it and you fill the whole room. This is not exactly it, but definitely a very potent fragrance. Is it a fragrance that I'm going to run and buy? No, but not because it's a bad fragrance. It's just not, again, my vibe. I think this is the theme here. All of these fragrances are just nice fragrances, but not for me, not my vibe. Let's move to Creed, shall we? So I have this time Love in White from Creed. So I tested Creed Aventus for her, Virgin Island Water, something like that. Now let's test this one. It's floral, it's iris, it's fresh with kind of a woody base. It seems like Creed is just not for me. No, I don't like this. Maybe because I don't like iris, and I definitely wouldn't pay the price tag for this kind of a fragrance, you know? So I guess Creed is just not for me. Now let's move to Byredo, and this is Rose of No Man's Land. So I guess it's a rose forward fragrance, and it definitely is. It's the first time that I actually can detect that there are more than one type of rose. It's very natural smelling, slightly green, but not green like in you are smelling the leaves. It has, maybe green is not the word that I'm looking for. I don't know, it just smells very fresh, natural. This is not a sweet rose. This is for someone who loves a natural smelling rose. I like it. I like it. But I have to say it's not totally unique. I can't say that I have in mind a fragrance that reminds me of this one. But the vibe, you have a lot of fragrances that have the same vibe. It's more for summer. It's very fresh. And about longevity, I will have to update you guys when I do my follow-up. So that was Byredo, Rose of No Man's Land. Let's move to Juliette Has A Gun. Till now, I was really lucky with Juliette Has A Gun fragrances. In my first episode, I tried Vanilla Vibes. I fell in love with it and I bought it. In my previous one, I fell in love with Not a Perfume Superdose. Also, I bought it. So this time I have two Juliette Has A Gun, and both of them are very hyped up. So let's start with Sunny Side Up. I don't remember the notes, but I remember that when I read the notes, I thought this is a fragrance for me, you know. So let's check. Okay, for some reason I can't get it very much. Maybe let's spray it again. You know, almost all of Juliette Has A Gun fragrances have like Ambroxan, Easy Super, like this synthetic base, which sometimes I don't get. I'm a little bit anosmic to these notes, so maybe this is why, I don't know. Okay, now I'm getting something. I don't understand this fragrance. I guess there is vanilla here, some floral notes, but they are very, very light. I don't know now if it the reason why I'm not really getting the fragrance is because sometimes I'm anosmic to like Ambroxan and Easy Super, or because the fragrance itself is very light. Completely honest, guys, I don't like this one at all. I don't get it so much, and the notes are like clashing, like each note is on its own, you know, it's not really well blended. This one definitely I have to test around and see, as I said, because of the base that I'm a little bit anosmic to. But for me now, from what I'm getting, no, not worth the hype at all, and I don't like even the fragrance, and I wouldn't even recommend it. So let's leave it at that. Maybe I will change my mind when I test it around. We shall see. Next one, very hyped up. This is from Juliette Has A Gun again. So I guess it must be a gourmand. Do I smell iris here? There's definitely iris, but there's also an almondy touch to it. So I guess there is heliotrope. There is vanilla, but this kind of vanilla that also Acqua di Parma, Mandorlo di Sicilia has. If you have this fragrance, the vanilla there is very similar to the vanilla here. They are not like similar fragrances at all. I'm talking about the note. There is a fruity touch, I guess some berry. It smells synthetic. It smells really synthetic. You can definitely get better options with the same price tag in the same family or the same vibe of this fragrance. I personally can't see the hype behind this fragrance, just totally honest here. So I guess we have for the first time a Juliette Has A Gun that I don't like. Let's try a new brand. I don't know it's a new brand or not, but a niche brand that I heard something about it, but not much. So I cheated a little bit. This is not a really hyped up fragrance or a brand, but I was really curious about it and I wanted to test it with you. So we have from Moresque, Jasminisha. Yeah, Jasminisha. I think this is an Italian brand, if I'm not mistaken. I saw the bottles. They have really, really nice bottles. And the name really intrigued me. Jasminisha. So I guess there's jasmine. This is not bad. It's floral, it's sweet. Oh, it's getting more and more sweeter. So at first I smelled the jasmine. Now I smell more orange blossom and a lot of sweet notes, like fruity sweet. Yeah, if I've ever smelled this fragrance alone and I didn't know what it is, I would have guessed it's a Mmmm fragrance. Maybe it has the same perfumer, who knows? This is just the first impression, so I will see. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's definitely mass pleasing. I guess this is one of the fragrances that majority of people would like. sweet, white floral, orange blossom. It's just a combination that a lot of people like. For a while, I smelled a lot of this fruity, synthetic sweetness, but now I don't get it so much. It's still a little bit sweet, still a little bit fruity, but I get more the orange blossom, creamy, warm orange blossom. A very, very nice fragrance, just not for me. So I guess I have a little bit of bad luck this time. Nothing that I've smelled really blew me away. Now let's go with Dyptique. And this is Don Son. It's one of the fragrances that a lot of people mention in their tuberose list. So I was really curious. This is the Eau de Toilette, by the way. Tuberose is definitely here. I guess also jasmine. This is very naturalistic smelling tuberose. If you ever smell tuberose like as a flower, this is pretty much how it smells. It's more of a fresh, musky tuberose. Again, it smells like an air freshener. Oh my god. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that. I guess in the Western perfumery they don't have tuberose as an air freshener, but back in Egypt, we used to have jasmine, tuberose, all these fragrances as air fresheners, and this smells like it. Maybe like an expensive air freshener. But that's just because of my background. Now I am trying to like think about this fragrance without my background, you know? As someone who likes tuberose, who doesn't associate this with air fresheners. Let's try again. Yeah, I guess if you don't have the background, it's one of the best tuberose fragrances, I have to admit, but I just can't get past like my memories. Sorry, just forget it, okay? It's a very nice tuberose fragrance. It's a musky, fresh tuberose. So if you love tuberose and you are looking for a fresh tuberose that is clean, that has a little bit of a musky undertone, Dyptique Don Son, this is the Eau de Toilette, by the way, is definitely for you. Now, last fragrance is actually a male targeted one, and this is from Parfum de Marly, Layton. I think this is the most famous male targeted fragrance from Parfum de Marly. I tested all the women fragrances from Parfum de Marly because I want to do a buying guide, and now I'm venturing toward also the male targeted fragrances. Anyway, it's good. This is so good. Oh, we have a winner. It's a masculine fragrance, but we have a winner. This is so good. Really good. It's a little bit sweet, slightly spicy, fresh. I guess there is lavender again here. I can't stop smiling. It's an amazing fragrance, actually. This is heaven. I have no problem wearing this fragrance. It's not too masculine. Just to be clear, it leans masculine, but I would wear it. I like it. This is delicious. The vanilla here is just delicious. Oh, finally we have a winner. Yes. Yes. So let's rank these fragrances. So I ranked the fragrances that we smelled today. My least favorite is from Juliette Has A Gun. Too synthetic, too generic. No, just a no. And then on number 11, Sunny Side Up, just because I really can't get the fragrance. And if you're new to this series, when I do my follow-up, like the ranking changes quite a lot. On number 10, Creed Love and White. Too much iris and just not worth it. Then I would go with Byredo Rose of No Man's Land. Rose of No Man's Land. Just because it's not groundbreaking. Then I would go with Dyptique Don Son for the reasons that I mentioned before. Then I would go with Casamorati or Xerjoff Casamorati 1888. It's just an okay fragrance, I guess. Next is Al Contrario from Tiziana Terenzi. Number 5, I would go with Erba Pura, just because it reminds me too much of Arrasasi Jasmine Wisp. Not similar fragrances, but just the same vibe, and definitely that one is half the price or even less, so it's too synthetic. It's too synthetic, but for the performance, and because I know that these kind of notes are really mass pleasing, a lot of people love it, I ranked it number 5. Number 4, I would go with Amouage Journey. I realized that this is a very beautiful fragrance. It's not something that I've smelled before. Because of the quality and uniqueness, I ranked it number 4. Number 3, Initio Rehab. A very beautiful fragrance. Just not for me. Never smelled anything like it, definitely. It seems like it has good performance. You can smell it's a niche fragrance, and this is why it is ranked number 3. Number 2, we have from Moresque, Jasminisha. No, I'm liking it even more. Okay, I think this is a fragrance I have to play with. For now, it's number 2. It's beautiful, floral, a little bit fruity. This is a beautiful fragrance. I think I'm starting to fall in love with this one. Anyway, number 2, Moresque Jasminisha. I hope I don't fall in love with it because the price tag was really up there. Number 1, Layton from Parfum de Mali. Oh, this is so good. So I guess I know what I'm going to get my husband on his birthday, and maybe steal it a little bit from him. Yeah. This is definitely worth the hype. This is really worth the hype. This is just amazing. That was it. These are all the fragrances. I hope you liked this video. I really love filming these videos, so although they are a pain when it comes to editing because I have to edit really a lot, but anyway, it's worth it. I love them. Definitely stay tuned for my follow-up where I go in details, reviews on each of these fragrances when it comes to performance, would I recommend it and to whom, which occasion, etc, etc. Also check my previous episode, which I will leave linked down below, and also don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload. So follow up, also follow me on Instagram where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Ciao!